Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Bearable Bull here. And I got this aggressively average content for you today. As man, do we have a lot to power through today. First and foremost, the crypto market had experienced quite a bit of volatility yesterday. And today, some of the noise has calmed down. But in my opinion, I sense turbulence in the air. This is the calm before the storm. And remember, volatility is our friend. Ladies and gentlemen, I got extremely excited when the market gets quiet, because typically what happens after is exactly what we all want. We get some price action. Markets only move in three directions. That's up, down, and sideways. I hate it when we move sideways. I hate it when we move down. That's what we've been doing over the past year and a half. Our time to move up is coming very soon. And I want you all to brace for impact. Here, we had a powerful piece of news as the Ripple Q1 2023 markets report has dropped. And a few significant takeaways is XRP sales by Ripple worth $361 million versus $226 million the previous quarter. XRP Ledger on-chain activity remains strong, with decentralized exchange volumes increasing 34%. In addition, the EU, UK, and UAE proposed new regulatory regimes for crypto, focused on licensing and activity-based frameworks. And also, developers proposed a new interoperability standard, XLS38D, for the XRP ledger that would enable users to transfer digital assets and data between blockchains, regardless of underlying protocol or programming language. That would be absolutely monumental. I showed you the other day the automated market makers update. That is absolutely massive. And all I continue to see is increased growth, increased utility, increased use cases, and increased updates. All we need is the regulatory framework, especially in the US. And the sky is the fucking limit. And here we have a message from the legal officer at Coinbase stating exactly what could be coming. Coinbase is about to get sued by the SEC, as Coinbase is simultaneously suing the SEC. And in my opinion, it's going to be an all-out war over the freedom of the crypto market.
Coinbase will defend itself vigorously in litigation if it comes to that. But it does not have to come to that. We will show up at your offices any day, any time, to discuss a workable path forward for our industry. But we won't find that path without true dialogue.
Imagine that. Imagine living in a world where you get sued after legally complying with all of the SEC's laws, after the SEC allowed Coinbase to sell shares of their stock to the public. Now the SEC wants to turn around 2 years later and say the sales are unlawful. That is not investor protection, just like Jeremy Hogan stated. That is a regulatory rug pull. Gary Gensler and the SEC are the biggest scammers in crypto. And that's because currently the US government and the banking incumbents are the biggest criminals. Ladies and gentlemen, what an unbelievable situation we're in, where the people in the crypto market, who the government wants to say are the scammers, are actually the individuals standing up against them. What an upside down Stranger Things world we live in. But ultimately, I do think innovation is gonna win. Now, ladies and gentlemen, before I continue, I actually wanted to take a moment to cover this very quickly because it was so unbelievable. Kim.com posted that Bloomberg reported on the Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell getting pranked by a fake Zelensky. Powell clearly provided sensitive information to the pranksters, but the Fed claims no sensitive or confidential information was discussed. The reason I'm covering this is because it's so unbelievable how weak the United States is right now. Not just in the highest levels, But even the Fed. Why are we even talking about our Fed policy with Zelensky? These are all important questions I want you to think about as you take a listen.
This story out just 15 minutes ago, or in the last 15 minutes, so allow me to share it with you, what we've published right now. Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell held a call with a pair of Russian pranksters posing as the Ukrainian president, Volodymyr Zelensky, according to a video shown on Russian state television, apparently thinking that he was speaking to the Ukrainian leader. The video shows Powell answering questions on topics ranging from the outlook for inflation to the Russian central bank. There have been several clips lasting about 15 minutes long. Unclear if the footage was altered in any way, shape or form. This line comes from a Fed spokesperson today. Chair Powell participated in a conversation in January with someone who misrepresented himself as the Ukrainian president. They go on to say it was a friendly conversation and took place in the context of our standing in support of the Ukrainian people in this challenging time. No sensitive or confidential information was discussed.
You see, ladies and gentlemen, I think I've figured it out. Fed Chair Jerome Powell had to call Zelensky because we have a lot of investments to make over there in Ukraine with our tax money. I completely understand. And ultimately, these hackers, these pranksters, pulled a fast one. But no one's pulling more of a fast one than the US government on all of us. That's why I constantly come out here every single day and combat everything that they want to plan. And that's why I come out here every single day and expose everything that they're doing. Ladies and gentlemen, a US CBDC and digital dollar are on the horizon, regardless of what anyone tells you. And here, Chris Giancarlo from the Digital Dollar Project exposes the reality when it comes to privacy and freedoms, when it comes to a CBDC and a stablecoin. I want you all to pay extremely close attention, because they are one and the same.
Let's be clear, absolutely clear. There is nothing inherently superior about non-sovereign digital currency in protecting privacy over central bank digital currency. Nothing whatsoever. Both of them will be massive honeypots of users' financial data, creating the opportunity for wide-scale mischief and abuse. It's entirely foreseeable that private sector sponsors of cryptocurrencies and stablecoins, or even commercial servicers of digital dollars, such as wallet providers, could be put under government pressure to conduct surveillance, report on activity, and disable financial transactions with disfavored groups and activities.
Ladies and gentlemen, thou shalt eat the bugs. Thou shalt cut out meat. Your carbon footprint is too extensive. You cannot drive your gas cars, you need electric. You cannot fly as much as you want because of your carbon footprint. The inevitable reality of the world is that they're going to implement the climate change agenda on all of us, limit our ability to do different things on this planet. And the method of control they're going to choose to do this is with the CBDC or stablecoin of choice. This is the inevitable endgame that I want to prevent by awakening as many people as possible. And that's why I've also started the Aggressively Average podcast on 2 platforms. The first episode will be out by tonight, and I'm extremely excited for all of you to watch it. Now guys, as far as CBDCs as a tool is concerned, Ripple and XRP are at the heart of helping bring on adoption. And here, I want you to listen to this clip from XRP Darren showing Anthony Welfare from Ripple talking about how a CBDC from Palau is already running, and Ripple and XRP are at the heart of it.
So what are we learning? So we've got 2 announced projects, and then we've got 5 under NDA. Royal Monetary Authority of Bhutan is a real CBDC, so there's a central bank, and they've issued a currency, and that's very much at decent stages at the moment. And Palau is actually a US dollar stablecoin. So Palau has its own government but no central bank, so they use the US dollar. So we're issuing on the public blockchain, on the public XRP ledger, a USD stablecoin for this country to use. That's actually quite interesting for innovation, because there's other things can be done with that.
Palau is issuing a dollar stablecoin on the XRP ledger. You just heard it out of Anthony Welfare's mouth, yet I hear people trying to argue that it's not. You just heard it out of his mouth. That's what he said. It's going to be issued on the XRP ledger.
And for those of you that don't know, this is where Palau is, right in Southeast Asia. Guys, the reason this is so important is because as this digital age accelerates, what's going to happen is all these countries that are colored on the screen, plus those that are not colored on the screen, are going to be adopting this technology. They're going to be running their national currencies on some type of technology. And Ripple and XRP will take a big part of that market share. I promise you. The US dollar as the world's reserve currency currently is coming to an end. The dollar is obsolete. It's used to sanction countries, and people have had enough. People are sick and tired of our privileged position. They don't want the dollar weaponized against them if we don't go with every agenda that the United States has. And something I'll stress to every single one of you is this. If you're an American, we may be heading into some more difficult times. The reason is because of the simultaneous collapse of our currency, and also our lack of willingness to adopt innovation, to regulate innovation in a positive way. We're going to lose our currency's reserve status and lose our spot as a global leader in innovation as well. And this is my critical warning to America before it's too late. We need to wake the fuck up, because time is running out. Now guys, to cap off this video for today, I'm gonna leave you with this clip from Lynette Zhang warning of the pivot away from the US dollar globally and how it's accelerated in just the past couple years. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Bearable Bull here. Thanks for tuning in. As always, I appreciate every single one of you. Now I'll be back tomorrow with another video.
In 2022, the US dollar's share as a global reserve currency fell at 10 times the average pace of the past 20 years. 10 times the average pace. The dollar suffered a stunning collapse in 2022 in its market share as a reserve currency, presumably due to its muscular use of sanctions. Exceptional actions taken by the U.S. and its allies against Russia have startled large reserve holding countries, most of which are from the global south. But it was really eye-opening, and not the first time that the U.S. has used their global payment system, the SWIFT, to put sanctions against a country. But what everybody now knows is if you don't do what we want, we will sanction you. We will cut you out of the global system. So we've seen a lot of countries that have gravitated to creating their own, and we're going to get into that in just a couple seconds. But this is a stunning collapse because it dropped from 73% in 2001. So that's already when the Fed started buying back the treasuries really slowly and super quietly, but 73% at that time to about 55% in 2021, and in 2022 it tumbled to 47% of the total global reserves. We're watching this in real time.
Why do I hold XRP? Because Ripple's the chosen one to lead the new global digital payment system, and they use XRP. In 2013, the Federal Reserve began looking for faster payments options. 2 years later, an action plan was born and a federal payments task force was created. It included one company focused on crypto, Ripple. In 2014, the World Bank and Better Than Cash Alliance, which includes the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, Clinton Global Initiative, and the governments of 32 countries, put out a report called The Opportunities of Digitizing Payments. 1 year later, the Better Than Cash Alliance featured one crypto company on their website, Ripple. Today, Better Than Cash Alliance and all other UN initiatives are focused on a single agenda, the Sustainable Development Goals for 2030. You can see the SDGs logo on Bill Gates' lapel, world-leading companies, the Better Than Cash Alliance website, and on the UN's official exchange, Exchange. What crypto is Exchange officially utilizing for their carbon credit solution? XRP. The world will move to a new international standard for exchanging electronic messages between financial institutions by 2025 called ISO 20022. Who was the first ISO 20022 member focused on distributed ledger technology? Ripple. Who's partnered with over 300 financial institutions, including Bank of America, American Express, PNC, Santander, SBI, HSBC, Standard Chartered Bank, Bank of England, India, Singapore, Scotland, Australia, and Indonesia, the largest banks in Japan, Canada, Egypt, the Middle East, United Arab Emirates, Thailand, Morocco, Bhutan, South Korea, Brazil, and Latin America? Ripple. Who is a former employee overseeing the Federal Reserve? Ripple. A former employee overseeing the world's largest asset manager, BlackRock's digital asset division? Ripple. Leading Australia's CBDC effort? Ripple. Who hired a former Treasury of the United States? Ripple. 2 former Federal Reserve attorneys to their board? Ripple. 2 former Clinton and Obama advisors? Former Minister of Defense and Economics of Germany? Former business director at Swift? Former Swift board member? Former CFO of PayPal? Former head of the DTCC? Former chief business officer at Uber? Former VP of Amazon and former SEC chair on their legal team? Ripple. Who's a member of the Digital Pound Foundation, Digital Dollar Project, Digital Euro Association, Mojaloop, IMF's High-Level Advisory Board on FinTech, Hyperledger Blockchain Consortium, Open Payments Coalition, Faster Payments Council, Global Payments Steering Group, Cross-Border Working Group, International Association for Trusted Blockchain Applications, Crypto Climate Accord, University Blockchain Initiative, World Wide Web Consortium, and a featured partner of the World Economic Forum with 3 members of their team directly listed on the WF website? Ripple. Now, does Ripple and XRP sound like they're going to disappear, or do they sound like they're part of a much bigger plan? You decide.